horse you had in a big race on Preakness weekend was Silmaril.
Yep.
And you got the money against the defending champ.
A Shadow. And
that was my wife's favorite race.
I've got like a picture almost the size of this wall of me and Silmaril, and it's not the win picture. I'm just getting by a Shadow, and I'm like standing up. I haven't even hit the wire yet.
Is that right?
Yeah, and it was just so exciting. But I worked her the week before for Chris Grove, and I'm coming back to the barn on her back, and Chris looks at me and goes, "Shadow who?" I said, "Yep, Shadow who? Don't know who she is," because Silmaril just worked so good that day.
Yeah.
And so we were confident going into it, and it was a sloppy track. A lot of the horses scratched because they didn't want to run against the Shadow.
Right. It was a small field, right? It was like 4 or 5
I think
horses.
it was 4 horses, yeah, and the Shadow was out there in front. And
I remember watching the race, and she makes the lead pretty easy, and I thought, geez, if she's right, she's gone.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we had the advantage of, home track and stuff like that, but still, no matter what the situation was, we were still able to say we beat the champion horse, but Silmaril was just a ton of heart. She had been one of the nicest horses I rode. I mean, she just tried every single time. If she knew someone was in front of her, she's gonna give it all to catch them until she gets in front.
There were a lot of races, it seemed like. I remember watching some races late in her career where I was like, she's got nothing today, and then somehow she'd get up at
all
the
of
end.
a sudden it's gone. Yeah. It was actually because I rode her for so long, later in her career, I would feel the same way early in the race. I'm like, man, maybe, she's getting a little older, maybe she doesn't feel it as well. She just wasn't into the bit as much, but she was just more relaxed. And just same thing when it was like, all right, come on, girl, we gotta start going. All right, no problem. She'd take off, and we're like, well, I guess she's still the same.
She still got it.
She still got it.
So what's for you as a rider, what's the different feel between being on a good horse and being on an everyday horse?
Just an everyday horse. Just again, like one like Silmaril, she knows what she's supposed to do when she goes out there, and you turn for home, and she's like, I know this is the home stretch. It's like she can see him in front. I could probably just throw my reins away and not do anything, and she'd still just run the same way and give everything she's got to catch one. Whereas on the everyday horse, you're, come on, my man, we got to pick it up now.
See those horses up there? You should catch them.
We're supposed to get the dirt out of our face now. Come on. And it just gets to be a big difference, and it makes your job a little easier, when the horse knows what to do and wants to do it more than just kind of plodding along.
Right. So you were saying before that if things were to work out for you, you'd like to come back to riding. What is it that makes you want to keep doing it? I mean, you've taken some bumps and bruises over the years, and you keep coming back to it.
The horses. I miss the horses.
Yeah.
Just the feel of being on one like that, and the connection and the winning and the running. It's mainly the horses. I just miss the horses.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the future holds, but let a couple of my body parts prepare a little bit more, and I'm only 32, so
if you come back, there's a lot of could be a lot of good years.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's a goal, but for now I'm just kind of taking it day by day.
Right. How'd you get the connection to the horses? How'd you end up being a rider?
A really random story. A guy came up to me, saw me playing basketball when I was 18, and said, "You ever thought about being a jockey?" I said, "Nope." He said,
Did you go to the races at all? I mean, did you know anything about horse racing?
Nope, knew nothing about it. And he lived in my neighborhood, so he said, "Come down and talk to me for 10 minutes. If you're interested, we'll keep talking. If not, go on about your way." 10 minutes turned into 2 hours. 2 weeks later, shipped me down to South Carolina to learn how to start riding.
Seriously?
And from the first day down there, it was like a no-brainer. I knew I was going to love it and wanted to do it.
Right.
So I never had second thoughts about it or anything.
Right. And then you won the Eclipse Award here.
Yep.
As a top apprentice, which I imagine, I remember when you won, but I imagine you did it in part by riding all over the place as much as you could.
Yeah, for a few months I was riding here in Charlestown nonstop. And I finally got to the point after maybe 2 months total, I told my agent, it's too much. You go from the morning works to 8 or 9 races here to 6 or 7 races down in Charlestown.
Right.
Get home at midnight or 1 and right back up and doing it. And got to the point where we just wanted to focus more on Maryland, more on Laurel and Pimlico. So we started kind of leaving out Charlestown a little bit here and there.
Right.
But for a while, it was night and day. And then, of course, dark days, Delaware, Philadelphia, anywhere else.
Wherever they were
Yeah.
running.
Wherever the trainers from here tell me to go, I went.
Yeah. So what do you think, Orb?
He's gonna be tough. He's definitely gonna be tough to beat. Golden Sense could be okay too, though. I mean, this track usually favors speed. In my opinion, I just think Golden Sense didn't like the track at Churchill.
Right.
He's usually always close in contention, and he was out there for not even a quarter mile before he started backing up. And if this track stays nice and the tighter turns and favors speed horses, it could be a good race. But Orb, he looks pretty legit. He could be tough. He will be tough.
Yeah, he will. So what are you going to be doing this Preakness Day?
That's a good question. Working with PR, I think just a lot of different things, going from the tents, making sure, everyone's happy and got everything they need, but definitely be sneaking away to watch every race.
All right. Thanks, Fogey.
My
We
pleasure.
appreciate
My
it.
pleasure. Thanks.
Shit, it wasn't running.
Tell me you hit the record button.